Some days later, I spot Rin and Sai standing together in front of the gallery as I walk down the street towards the gallery. They seem. Oh, what? I guess the music or the sound just decided to cut in there. They seem to be talking to each other while Sai has a smoke. Good afternoon. It's me, Sal. I know you like me visiting. I say this even though it's not really afternoon anymore. I came a bit later than usual since I caught up doing homework. It's going to be dark soon, and it's really loud now. Oh, it's really loud. Hello there, Sal. Came to visit this little kitten again. Rin makes a face at the nickname. I guess she doesn't like it. Ironically, the way she wrinkles her nose like that really does make her look like a bit of a cat. Hello. Sai turns back to Rin. They continue the conversation they were having. So in other words, everything is going well enough? Rin makes a difficult expression and turns her face away from me, for some reason. It's difficult. It's like I'm missing something. But I'll do it. Work hard and it'll be fine. I'm going to have to start working on my part of the preparations. I need to do sales catalog, invitations, decoration, advertisement, and so on. I need the names for your works, and we also need to think up general themes from the exhibition. They don't have anything like that. I'm not very good with words, so I don't use them. I cannot use them. I mean, sometimes I have to, but I don't think it's not like that. I think it's not a time like that at all. You don't like naming your works? I don't like it. Alright, we're good. Well, I guess it's hard to come up with a good name for something like this. Ren shakes her head vehemently. It's not like that. It's like if I paint a cloud and call it an octopus, people will think about it differently than if I paint a cloud and call it the end of the world. Every name is wrong. Nothing ever explains what I feel like when I make a painting. It's not a word thing. The only thing would be to come up with new words for everything, but would it help at all? No, I don't think so. Then the paintings would just go. The paintings would go with just unnamed number one and so on. It's a bit inconvenient, but that's not good. Unnamed means that you just didn't come up with a good name. And unnamed is a name that, like Greek guy with the sheep and all. Sai thinks about this for a while, furrowing her brow, and she keeps looking at Rin's serious face. So you're saying your artwork should be completely without labels? I think that's what I'm saying. Sai lets out a dry laugh. The kind old lady who smokes too much always seems to end up with. Let's hope your art will never end up in the museum. The curator will explode. She takes a contemplative puff of her cigarette, which has worn down to nothing, much more than the butt. Then she drops it into the ashtray asphyxiated to the wall next to the door. Then again, it could work. What do you mean? Namelessness, this rejection of labels, it works. It's a good unifying theme, and something people can grasp onto it easily. Allows you for a lot of room for interpretation. It gives a good impression. Think about it. All sorts of associations can be made, starting from identity and self-definition, all the way to whatever you want to think about it. You could call your exhibition Nameless, and build it on that theme. How does that sound? I've been thinking about that for a while. I'm not sure how Sai managed to get so fired up about Rin's reluctance to apply names to her work. It feels like she might be extrapolating too much. It's pretty impressive sounding any idea. I don't think it's a bad idea. For what it's worth, I have to say it sounds pretty good to me too. Sai reaches into her pocket for another cigarette, lighting it with a neon green butane lighter. Her forehead wrinkles as she rubbed it. Ugh. As she rubs it, she appears to furiously think more of this idea. She doesn't say a word for a little bit, but every now and then she takes a sharp drag from the cigarette. Yes, I think this will work out pretty nicely. I'm gonna take this as a starting point and work from there. I'm going to work on this. You go back upstairs and try to find your missing ingredient. I'm sure it'll come to you sooner or later. Rin doesn't reply, so Sai takes one last long pull from her cigarette and drops it in the tray to join with the other of its kind. Galeriana turns to head back inside, but stopped by Rin as she reaches for the door handle. Sai? What is it, kitten? Can I have some cigarettes? She looks at Rin incredulously, clearly not having expected such direct request. Not that I did either. Don't tell your teacher. She stuffs the packet in Rin's pocket with a neon green lighter. Oh boy, what is going on? Day is already falling into dusk when you climb down up the dark stairs leading up to what is now basically Rin's atelier. Oh no. As we go in, Rin doesn't seem to be able to settle down. She keeps pacing around the room like a caged animal, looking through the skylight in the burgundy-colored dusk. The last light of the sun advance across the sky reflects from the clouds floating over the town, filling every corner in Adelaide with blazing orange light. So, painting going well? She blinks and relaxes her muscles. I didn't realize how tense up she was until now. Not really. I haven't painted in 3 days. I'm going in squares. Circles. If you say so. I tried doing things a bit differently, but it doesn't work, and now the old way doesn't work either. I need something more. It's not enough like this. Written response gives me pause, since as usual I can't exactly understand what she means. Although, really, I shouldn't have expected anything else. She either says nothing at all, or too much. Trying to comprehend and follow her train of thought feels like wading through the jungles of Borneo equipped with a wooden spoon and a map of Hokkaido. It's annoying how her thoughts are both laid out in plain sight and hidden from view every time she opens her mouth. What more? You said that to Sai as well. The missing ingredient? I think I have to destroy myself. Okay, that sounds unnecessarily grim. What do you mean? Rin's shoulders slump and she turns to face me directly. I have to change. I've tried, but this is not enough yet. I have to destroy myself first, I think. Um, just to be clear, you were speaking metaphorically, right? Like learning to paint from scratch again, or whatever, so to speak? She shrugged her shoulders as if there's no difference. There is no difference. Okay, so you're going to start by smoking a cigarette for inspiration. Maybe. I've never tried this before, have you? No, can't say I have. Still, I'm not really sure if having a smoke is the best starting point. She responds to my words with another nonchalant shrug. I open the cigarette pack and look inside. It's almost full. Smoking is bad for you, but that's the idea here, I guess. Yes, I need to do something. I want to paint. I need something more. So okay, fine. What's after smoking a cigarette then? How do you intend to destroy yourself? Ren thinks that's just a split second, averting the gaze like she does when she doesn't want to get distracted. I don't know yet. I'll decide later. Oh god. What? Alright. Ren bends down to pick out a cigarette from the end. She raises her head with one between her lips and turns to me. Eyebrows curved into two arcs, challenging me to respond. With a sigh of resignation, I pick up the lighter, raise it, and meet the cigarette. I can feel Rin's warmth breathing against my quivering hand. The flames flicker to life on the third strike. The flint and I try to aim the dancing fire at the end of the cigarette. An amber-colored glow spreads into the wrapping paper of the tobacco. As Rin inhales the first smoke, it seems to relax her significantly. To my surprise, she doesn't cough despite telling me that she's the first-timer. Rin seems to remember that it's hard to blow the smoke out without spitting the cigarette out as well. She quickly sits down on the floor, bringing her foot to her lips like a circus contortionist, and expertly picks the filter between the two toes. I get down on the floor as well as we both lie down, almost simultaneously while Rin blows a steady stream of smoke towards the dim sky beyond the glass of the skylight, looking after it thoughtfully. A thin haze of steely blue smoke slithers towards the ceiling in fish-like movement. It blows in the stagnant air of the atelier, twisting and turning around its own immeasurable body until it dissipates in thin air. What's the word for smoke that looks like that? There is no word for that. We should maybe come up with one. Maybe. Then takes another quick experimental drag. It's not very tasty. It feels like inhaling the dust lying on top of a forgotten book about the memories of a dead kingdom. Do you want to try? My hesitation unintentionally surfaces again, making me freeze in the face of a rather trivial and commonplace challenge. Rin's ability to take everything so coolly is something I'm a bit jealous of. Alright. Taking it from her, I have a drag on it, fighting against a sudden choking feeling in my lungs as they fill with smoke. To my embarrassment, I fail, wheezing and hacking my lungs out. I feel flustered, but maybe I haven't lost too much face in Rin's eyes. That's less unpleasant on the second try, but I still pass the cigarette back to Rin. Like a pair of budding delinquents in middle school sticking the first smoke out of sight of their teacher and parents. Well, I suppose it's not like that exactly what we are. After a while, the cigarette has shrunk most of the way down to the filter. And is still looking quietly out the sky, like, with her looking out there, the silence inside the atelier seems to deepen even more. Are the cogs of creativity turning behind those eyes right now? Do another one. I mechanically pick out another cigarette, light it, and place it on Rin's lips. She takes a few quick puffs and moves it awkwardly around with her lips. Flick it. Not understanding her garbled words, I glance over at Rin. Looks like she's having trouble with the cigarette. I pick the cigarette from her lips and place it on mine, abandoning common sense and good reason while I do so. Their first one should have been enough for me, but I take another drag, still coughing a little bit at the unpleasant sensation of smoke invading my respiratory organs. I remember doing something like this before. So you have smoked? Doesn't look like it, though. Nah, lying on my back and looking at the sky with you. Oh. As the sky on the other side of the glass is slowly growing darker. It's unreasonably high, even if the shimmering smoke seems to make it closer. I return the cigarette back to Rin's mouth. It feels bad somehow. The space between us, less than arm's reach, is still there. As the distance between us, the immeasurable wide chasm of thoughts and feelings that separate us with greater certainty than even light years of physical distance could. By saying the right words, there might be a way to make the chasm narrower, even if it's just a little. I try to cross the gap with one big step, but Rin turned me back. I glance at her out of the corner of my eye. Rin is staring upward through the smoke-filled ceiling and the skylight at the darkening sky above us. It's almost like she's sleeping, even though I know she isn't. Her eyes are open as is her mouth. I take the cigarette from Rin before it falls on her cheek. She doesn't react to my touch in any way. So, this is where we are now. I wonder if we could ever be closer than this. I shake the drag from the cigarette and blow a thin stream of smoke upward. These indirect kisses are the only things that connect us right now. The taste of Rin's lip on the filter, mixed with the ashen taste of the smoke. Her soft lips against my fingers as I press the cigarette on her mouth, as if she was placing kisses on them. The ash softly falling on the floor between us like snow. As the second cigarette is being finished off, I'm already lighting the third one. The only thing breaking the stillness of the Adelaide is an inaudible sound of smoke floating towards the first stars blink overhead. Light nausea hits me from the fourth or fifth cigarette. Before long, the shape of the waxy moon appears in the skylight, shedding her wan light down on us. It'll be a full moon in a few days. It'd be nice to be able to fly. I flinch after realizing it was my own voice that gave birth to the remark. The bastard child of almost inebriate smoke is tiredness. And tiredness. You can't? You can? Sometimes I feel like it, like I can do anything. I wish I felt like that too sometimes. I wonder if she hears the bitterness seeping into my words. The vicious cycles of unrequited feelings is poisoning me right now, even now. I try to push the grim thoughts aside. My efforts meet with a little success as my mind keeps rolling around what ifs and if onlys. Watching the moon slowly creeping higher, I realize that a long time has passed since I came here. It sobers me somewhat, but also reminds me of the status quo we're now. It's late. I better get going back to school. I stand up to leave, but Rin doesn't show any sign of rising up from the floor. She lies inanimate, as though all life had been sapped from her. Little wisps of smoke float about her, memories of cigarettes we shared. I grasp her by her short and thin arms and try to pull her up. To my surprise, she complied and stands up with some help from me. I notice how little Rin weighs, as if she were made of feathers. Are you gonna stay here overnight? I have to. I haven't painted much in 3 days. I have to find out how I can start painting. Maybe the smoke helps. Just take a break. That's no good. I have to do it. If I can't paint anymore, I'll destroy it for... What? I didn't even read that. I'll be destroyed for real. Maybe you're just burned out. You've been working pretty hard. That would be bad. I wonder if this is for me. I wanted to see how far I can go. Maybe this is it. This is the end. You just have an artist block. It's not a big deal. That's the word for when you can't paint, right? I've had this before, never like this though. I pick up a brush, and I want to put it down right away. And then I do. 3 days. It's like I've forgotten how to paint. I didn't think that was possible. Like more impossible than Emmy growing wings and a tail. You need a break. I mean, I get that you're trying to go deeper inside yourself for your paintings, but it's not really that healthy to stay inside of your own head for so long. I glance at the night sky visible through the window. A couple of stars are weakly twinkling above the city. Remind me of something I used to do once upon a time. It feels so horribly long ago. Come on, let's go outside. Where? Just for a walk. I'll show you my secret place. I don't know if it works in this town, but we can try. In any case, you need a break and probably something to eat. Come on. You need to get your thoughts away from this for a while. When they're troubled, most people escape from their unhappy lives into a world of fantasy. I did that before, and still do today, reading books endlessly, immersing myself in the world rather than my own. Rin's escape should be the other way around, though, out of her inner world and into the real. Rin doesn't look happy about this, but I ignore her. At least she's somewhat cooperative, walking after me as we head down the stairs and then down the sidewalk. Night has fallen upon the town. It's a gentle summer night, smelling of flowers and hot asphalt. The sunlight is replaced by shiny neon colors and bland yellow streetlights. The air is easy to breathe, as if the air pressure was noticeably lighter than usual. The feeling of daytime in the hot summer was lasted long into the evening and night. I grab Rin by her sleeve like I've seen Emmy do, and to my surprise, she obediently follows. The pale streetlights fight against the all-enveloping darkness as we walk together. The guide and the guided, although neither knows the destination. But it doesn't matter. This is the one moment where the usual silence that had become the ritual between me and Rin at last fit perfectly. We walk side by side, choosing directions on impulse or inspiration. Suddenly we find ourselves back at the street we'd already seen once or twice. Sometimes we find new streets. All of them look asleep. Rin doesn't ask where we're going. Maybe she doesn't care. Maybe she knows I don't have an answer. The silence of the night isn't scary. After all, the lights drive most of it away. The air grows clearer as the moon progressing along its journey in the cloudless sky. Few cars roll on the street at this hour, and even fewer people are on the sidewalk. The apparent lack of nocturnal life is somehow befitting of this place. There are round-the-clock shops and cafes, sure, but the atmosphere is like the town itself is slumbering, a town that sleeps 8 hours a day. The city I grew up in, bathed in the electric glow of a million light bulbs, never slept. I have seen it for myself. It's not the first time I've done this. It happened one of the few times I was home alone. Both of my parents had business trips that neither could cancel, so they deemed me old enough to survive 2 days on my own. Their misplaced trust in me did not go to waste as I proceeded to spend the entire night out walking around the city. Even afterward, I can say what made me stay downtown longer than I intended after school. I didn't feel like going home, so I stayed through the evening and eventually through the entire night. I watched long, concentric circles around the landmark chosen at random. For some reason, the nighttime city felt fascinating, so I walked its streets. At every intersection, it was possible to choose your direction at random because they all led nowhere. The aimless wandering made me see things differently. I hope it's the same for Rin. We stopped to buy hot coffee and snacks from a vending machine and then locate a bench where we sit down to eat. There's no time in the night of the town, so we spend an unknown amount of it just sitting there, observing stillness and the usual vivid soundscape. Still, it's getting very late. Soon it'll be getting very early. So, is this it? Hearing Rin's voice surprises me. She doesn't sound bored. Rather, her tone is inquisitive, uncertain as to why I dragged her out here, yet curious to find out the answer. Yeah. Have you ever been out all night? It's like a different world. Her remark sends her thinking for a while, looking around as if she was looking for something. The wisps of light reflecting from the corner of her eyes are suddenly very sharp. It's not a different world. It's the same, just asleep. What do you think this town is dreaming of? Maybe something like car sheep or building sheep. Why are dreams always of sheep? I've never seen a sheep related to a dream that I can remember. Do different towns dream of different things? Probably. How could they not? I answer half joke, half spurring her on. For the first time tonight, it seems like a bit of Rin's life has returned to her. She doesn't continue her list of rhetorical questions, though. Instead, she leans back a little and looks up at the moon traveling above the town. The cool breeze blowing between the buildings seems to steal the conversation before it even really begins. It was too bad. It looked like Rin would get out of her blue mood. I wish I could somehow know the right things to say, but I realize I can't do that the way I am now. It's too far apart from Rin. I haven't really managed to crack her open. She's just too complicated. It's like she opens to everything, equal disinterested in everything from the outset. In truth, she locked tighter than anyone else I know, even myself. Sometimes she locks herself inside the inner world, shutting everything else out. At other times, her thoughts flow freely out of her mind, but not organized in any fashion that would make them intelligible to the rest of the world. What comes out in the form of paintings, I can I can't interpret. To me, it's just a sea of colors and shapes, not a message. She's too far away. I now know it was a bad idea to try and reach for her in that way I did. But I can't help liking her. I look at the fingers of my right hand, trying to remember what Rin's love felt like against them. Do you ever feel like you're trying to reach out for something that's impossible to reach? Rin's turn, Rin turns her gaze to me, tilting her head quizzically. I wonder if she understands the meaning of my own rhetorical questions or not. Either way, I like how I managed to catch her attention just by speaking aloud nowadays. All the time. At least, I think so. That's what painting feels like, a lot of the time. Or, all the time. I don't know. Sometimes, I get the feeling that I really paint what I want. Sometimes it feels like it's just another shadow of me, like a mirror that doesn't work right. Like, talking? Maybe. When I was little, I didn't have friends. Maybe it's the same now. Only thing I liked were pens and paints. They were the only things that understood me. Now, it feels like this is going away too. Change really is a scary thing. I wish I could understand you. She looked at me melancholically, roused by my thoughts and materializing as words spoken aloud. Me too. Whether she meant she wished for me to understand her, to understand me, or her to understand herself, I never ask, nor do I find out. I see her eyes searching for mine, serious and cryptic as they are. I'm not getting any explanation from them. Don't worry about it. I will. Small hints of a smile is waving on her lips. When she's like this, it makes me feel like there is hope for us. We get along so well for being so different. It's just that we never really get along precisely because we are so different. Maybe it was Rin's passionate approach to her own art exhibition, or perhaps my own careless words. But last week was different from usual. Small friction between us seems to be somewhat volatile, but at least we now seem to be back to normal, relatively speaking. We stand up from the bench and pick yet another direction in which to go. The wee hours of the night slowly pass by as we measure the streets of the town, one step at a time. We are finally at ease, not minding the rare lone passerby, the eerie darkness, each other ourselves. Rin's step seems lighter, like the heavy air around her is letting go a little. It makes me feel happy. I don't talk, save for the single remarks that are spoken into the night of the town and never answered. The details jump into the eye instead of being in the usual blur they are during the day. As the sky above the town changes from deep dark blue to gray, I know that our night is soon ending. It's almost morning. Rin looks up too and nods at me. It's true. The coming light of morning is creeping through the sky, climbing higher by the minute. It feels surreal. The sun won't come up for a while, but I get the feeling the end of the night really is here now. Should we head back? Rin nods again, twice, her hair waving in the breeze that seemed to be heralding the coming dawn. Abruptly, she takes off, taking the lead in the walkabout on which I brought her. It seems she really is in a better mood. This too makes me feel happy. Ren's navigational skills are probably not much better than mine, but we eventually find ourselves in front of Side's place. I don't know if this was any help. I did this once before, but it was more because of a stupid impulse, or maybe restlessness back then. Maybe this was a silly idea and didn't really help you at all. She just nods as an answer. So, do you know how you're going to destroy yourself now? I have some ideas. I don't want to see you for a while. Don't come and see me. Do something else. Her ultimatum catches me completely off guard. What the hell? What's that about? You said before that you didn't mind. I mind now. It's just for a while. I have to do this alone. I don't like that. Why? I don't want it to go like this. Why? I just don't want to feel this distance between you and me. She tilts her head like a bird, her eyes narrowing a little as she thinks. Then, you can touch me. What? You can touch me, if you want. You'd feel better, right? I don't know. Try. Where do you want me to touch you? No boobs are left here. Other than that, you can decide. Fine. I raise my head hesitantly, even though I don't know why I'm actually doing this. Her eyes tell me that she's not going to explain. A thousand thoughts race through my head as I slowly bring my hand closer to Rin's face and press 3 fingers against her pale cheek. Rin feels soft and cold. She closes her eyes on contact and visibly relaxes. I can feel her soft breathing, her muscles releasing tension as my fingertips caress her cheek. She doesn't rest her head against my palm or anything else you expect a girl to do in this sort of the situation. In fact, she hasn't reacted at all, save for the now shut eyes. Once I withdraw my hand, she opens them again. It might just be an illusion created by the timid morning sunlight playing with my eyes, but Rin looks like she's holding back a smile. And this is a problem with our relationship. At the time, I had no idea what's going on, and the other half, I just failed to understand why things are going on like they are. As usual, I'm not going to get an explanation. Rin merely takes a step towards the door. See you later. Then she disappears from my reach for an undefined period of time. Alright, that's, uh, that's the end of that part. Uh, yep. So, I hope you guys enjoyed that surreal moment there. I'll see you guys next time.